Pues,
Hello. As Esther was saying, I want to wake you up because I know this is a very tricky time of the day, especially in Andalusia, in this region. But anyway, Eleonora and myself have had some coffee. She's Italian from Cremona. I am Spaniard from Valladolid, so I will be doing the introduction in Spanish so that she can understand me. But the interview will be conducted in English. Do you have a video? No? No? Okay, no time, sorry. I will introduce her. She's a researcher. She's from Italy. She's been working in Montreal and now in Trinity College Dublin. And she is doing this research in order to try and transfer the results into people's real lives. So this is not a research that will be limited to the world of academia with no or little implications for the real society. And then you also need to know that she's got a machine for pizza making. She makes pizza with a machine. Wow. I have an Italian friend in Madrid, and he's got the same machine. The same question will go to Valeria for tomorrow's interview. So let's get started. The interview will be conducted in English. My accent, I have a very thick accent in English because I studied English when I lived in a little village in Kansas City a while ago.
In so many cases. Then I don't know if you think that we are in a moment similar to the beginning of the internet with this kind of disruptive technologies, with artificial intelligence and big data.
Yes, I think there are similarities and there are great differences. The similarities probably is in scale and in impact on people's life and the way people access information and connect with each other, impact on the sense of self and agency. What I think it's very different is the approach and the sense of trust, we just spoken of trust,
yes,
that people have towards these technologies. There was great trust and enthusiasm. The early days of the internet, this sense of like infinite freedom, anonymity as like the possibility to be whoever you want and to contact people, like disregarding on where they were based. And now, because of things we experience and because problems that we face, people are way less optimistic about it. And I think there is like a big concern, and the discourse is also about how to develop agency or to regulate certain technologies and the damages that they can do to democratic participation.
Okay, you are right now in a project, you are involved in a project that is called KT4D. What is this project in highlights, something that we can understand? Yeah,
so the KT4D project, KT4D stands for Knowledge Technologies for Democracy. It's a project, a 3-year project funded by the European Union, and it started last February and it finishes on February 2026. We are 12 partners working in 8 different countries, and with the goal of tackling some of the biggest issues that AI and big data poses to democratic and civic participation. So, of course, things that we all experience, opacity and the lack of transparency in these technologies that, of course, give us a sense of lack of trust and lack of control over these technologies. And also the speed of the change, the technological change that AI and big data imposed. And so the way the KT4D project wants to address this issue is by putting the humanities and culture at the center of our approach.
And why and how do you put the cultural studies and the humanities in the core of these technologies? How do you do that?
Yeah. I mean, that is the biggest challenge of the project, but also we think our peculiarity. The idea come from the fact that we cannot just address the impact of AI and big data on democratic participation, looking at the technological side or to regulation. Because these technology have an impact on culture, but also they are adopted and used in certain cultural contexts. And while the technology evolves at a very high speed, cultural changes is way slower. And so there are these two different speeds. And also, I don't know, just to give you an example of sure. Why, what does it mean to look at the culture and the cultural context. For example, during COVID, some universities, especially in the United States, adopted AI supported software to invigilate exams. So exams were online and students were at home, and so university wanted to be sure that students were not cheating. So these technologies were checking that nobody was in the room with the student, nobody was suggesting answers, but they were also monitoring the face motion of the student and to see if something was suspicious. And this generated a set of issues. For example, this software flagged disproportionately student of color because it was trained on white faces, and so students of color were asked to get special lights in order not to be mistaken and in order for the software to see exactly where they were looking and so on. So issues that had to do with the technology, but also issues that had to do with the culture. And one big question before even asking is how can we fix a software like this is why we decided to use it in the first place. And the answer is because we have an idea, in a lot of Western and European countries, more and more of university as a place where grades are the most important thing. And so the final marks is what counts more than the learning process. So the process of invigilation is needed, either done by people when we are in a classroom and the professor does this thing, or by a software. So to understand why we use this technology and how can we fix it, we also need to address the biggest cultural context.
Perfect, we can understand that. But I have two terms in here that I see in your webpage that in general, journalists like me, we talk about information technology. And I see that you are talking about knowledge technology. There is a difference between these two concepts, or is the same?
Yeah, no, we use knowledge technology specifically because we wanted to differentiate from information technologies. And so, yeah, information technology is the most common definition.
It's the most common,
it is.
Everybody uses that, but I don't know what did you mean with knowledge technologies.
The way we intended is that information has a focus on content, so what we know and how we know it, and knowledge has more put the focus on people. Oh. So information becomes knowledge when there is a shared experience of sense making, either on the personal level or the community level. So when we share information in a classroom with our students and we have a conversation, or in a public forum, citizens share their opinion and they have a debate. So in that moment, information becomes knowledge. And so to think of knowledge technologies, we just don't want to look at what we know and how we know it, but like the link between this and what the tools that we use to get information do to our sense of self, sense of agency, the sense of our place in the community. So it's, this is why.
Juan Ángel, dime cuántas preguntas porque tengo que escoger. Ya, 2.
How many questions can I make? How many questions I am allowed to make? Just 2. We need questions from the audience. From the audience. No, not today. Not today. Okay. You win.
I'm sorry, maybe I'm half asleep, but I don't have a clear idea what you're talking about when you're talking about knowledge technologies. Is it just the scale between intelligent knowledge and wisdom, or what specific technologies are you talking about?
Yeah, thank you. And there is another reason, like beside the differentiation between information and knowledge, why we decided to go with this definition, and it is because one of the goals of the project is also to historically contextualize AI and big data. So we could have called it like AI and big data for democracy, but the reason why we use this definition is also because we want to stress the fact that these technologies are the last instance of a series of knowledge technologies that we can see it began with the written language and with the printing press, television, or the internet. So we always use tools to produce and to access knowledge. And while AI and big data, of course, they have specificities, we also want to stress like the connection, and we want to use these past examples in order to either learn from positive experience with knowledge technologies or use like cautionary tales from the past. So it's like it's a definition that includes other technologies that are not just AI and big data.
Okay. Someone else? Anyone? Okay, then the last question, we are talking in the coffee too about this. I would like to talk about Siri. Do you think it's artificial intelligence? Do you know what I mean? What is your relationship with Siri?
Yeah, I don't know. Like I don't think I like when
just
we say
if
like.
You want to share.
Yeah. No. I just wanted to say like when we say is an artificial intelligence, like I think already gives like an identity to something that uses like a technology, but. No, yeah, I have this story, and I think like it made me think about the way we relate with this technology. So, I mean, as many of us, of course, I ask things to Siri, and like a few months ago, I was asking for the weather as every morning, and maybe because of my accent when I speak English, but like Siri doesn't always understand me. So like I asked her first time, and then the second time, and then the third time I got frustrated and I said, "What's the weather, you little idiot?" And Siri and my Siri, like you said, that has the voice of a British man. So like he answered back to me and he says, "This not nice." And I feel horrible, and I try to apologize to Siri, which is pretty stupid. But after that day, I always say thank you, and I'm always trying to be like make up for this. And I mean, beside this fact, it's just, it gives me the sense that even when we interact with these technologies, half of the interaction is with a human being, and so as human being, we always learn about something about ourselves or the way we relate to other people, even if on the other side there isn't like a person, but it still does something for.
We got to improve the tools and improve the artificial intelligence too.
to get less offended, I don't know, or me being more polite.
Yeah, something like that. Grazie mille, Eleonora.
Grazie.
we'll have more time.